Well, I think it's fair for me to comment on what the chairwoman has put out because it's much more extensive. I had the chance to read the 94-page summary of a bill that will likely be 1,000 pages in size. And I think it's very comprehensive. I think it's well thought out. I think it's a practical approach. I mean, we're living in a constrained environment. I just got responded to a question of a declining budget. So we're living in a constrained environment. And I think the senator understands the context in which we have to pass a farm bill. It has to be practical. It has to be doable. It has to be affordable. And I think she has been able to do that in the way she's crafted it. The good news is she responds to the request for reference price because reference prices by virtue of previous farm bills will increase from the inflation factor. She's also calling for additional reference price increases for a number of commodities that have been at the top of the list of that conversation. She's looked at ways in which crop insurance can be enhanced. That's obviously a strong message to production agriculture. She's looked at ways in which we can encourage more young and beginning farmers to have an opportunity to actually get on the farm and stay on the farm. She's looked at ways in which we can create more credit opportunities for those farmers and greater flexibility in our credit programs by making it easier to qualify. So that, I think, is an important consideration. There's a strong conservation title where she preserves the ability of the Inflation Reduction Act to continue to invest in climate-smart agriculture and complements that with expanded opportunities in EQIP, CSP, Regional Conservation Partnership Program, and the easement program. She understands the significance of trade, and she and Senator Bozeman looked for creative ways to address additional trade support by going outside of the Farm Bill, saying to me, use your power under the CCC to direct $1 billion over the next 5 years to expanded outreach in diversifying market opportunities. She's looked at ways in which to enhance rural development. She's incorporated in this Farm Bill support for not only climate-smart agriculture that creates these new revenue opportunities, but also local and regional food systems that creates a better deal for smaller producers. Instead of getting 20 cents on the food dollar, they can get 50 to 75 cents on the food dollar. Strong research title, a strong forest title. So it's a very comprehensive, very thoughtful, very practical, and very doable bill. And I think if you look at it, you'll see serious efforts to be bipartisan. There are things that are specifically directed to members of her caucus and of the Republican caucus that they felt was important for their state in that bill. Now, I can't really comment on Representative Chairman Thompson's draft because it was a 4-page outline and it really didn't tell me much at all what he wants to do. I would hope that he would learn from Senator Stabenow that there's no appetite for reductions in the SNAP program. I would hope that he understands that there's little appetite for taking the conservation money and repurposing it. I would hope that he understands the significance of encouraging the opportunity for small and mid-sized producers to have multiple sources of income. We'll wait and see. I know that his desire is to get a bipartisan bill, and I think if I think he's true to that desire. We'll see what he puts out in the next couple of weeks.
Those desires, I'm sure, are in both parties. In the time that you have spent in Washington with several farm bills, do you think it can be done on time by the end of September?
Well, it has. Actually, it's not on time because it's in an extension.
Well,
right. Well, look, can it be done? Absolutely. Will it be done? I think it depends on the ability and willingness of everybody to be practical, to be thoughtful, to be innovative, and to understand that we're operating in a bit of a constrained environment. And if you're practical and thoughtful and creative, you can get a farm bill done, and it can be a solid farm bill. It can provide a good blueprint for growing and building out opportunities for small, mid-sized, and large farming operations, and restoring and reviving the rural economy. That ought to be the goal, and I think Senator Stabenow has hit the mark, and I think it's now up to the House to see what they come up with.